Hello everyone and welcome back to the best channel in the whole internet, iRead'em. Today we had another Reddit video and we're looking at the subreddit Today I Fricked Up, which I'm sure you already know because you read the title of this video. And before we get on with the story, please make sure you click like, subscribe, the bell icon and comment down below something and I'll probably reply to it. And do all of that and I will post more videos. Thank you. Today I fricked up by losing my car and house keys on the worst possible day to make this mistake. This happened more than 20 years ago when I was in college. Wow, the story's old then. I had travelled by plane to another city for a wedding, and I'd stayed with my cousin who lived in the city where the wedding took place. It was a weekend wedding, and it just so happened that the day I was flying back was Super Bowl Sunday. You will soon learn that this made the entire scenario so much worse than it would have been on a normal Sunday. I had planned it so that I had an hour and a half to get from my plane to my car and make a 40-minute drive home to watch the Super Bowl. Okay, so I'm guessing, initial thoughts, maybe because it's a Super Bowl or something, there'll be lots of traffic. I'm not really sure, but maybe lots of people are going to other places to watch it or something, so maybe, I don't know how that's relevant, but the flight was uneventful. The plane landed in Kansas City and I took the airport shuttle to the economy parking lot to get my car and go home. When I got to my car, I searched my person for my car keys. I can't find them on me, so they must be in my bag, right? Because I was travelling for a wedding, I only had packed a folding garment bag, which wouldn't have been an issue if there was not 8 inches of snow on the ground. So I placed my garment bag on the ground, unzipped and unfolded it, and I couldn't find my keys. At this point, I began to panic, so I proceeded to unpack all of my garments in the snow, desperately searching in every pocket and every fold for my keys. After 20 minutes of searching and coating everything I had with me in snow, I realised that I'd lost my keys and that I'd just ruined my suit that was dry cleaning only. In hindsight, I probably could have been more delicate with my search efforts, but my panic increased the longer I searched for keys with no success. Yeah, to be fair though, everyone knows that feeling when you just can't find, especially something as important like that, or your phone or keys or whatever. You just get really, really panicked and frustrated, and you don't really think straight. You're just like, oh my gosh, I've got to find this quickly. This was 20 years ago, so I didn't have a cell phone at the time. So I had to wait 15 minutes for the shuttle to take me back to the terminal, so I could find a payphone to try and get some help. I got to the payphone, only to realise I had no coinage to place any phone calls, and I had no cash in my wallet to convert to change. So I had to search for an ATM. It took me another 30 minutes to find an ATM to get $20 cash. I then went to an airport gift shop to get some change, but they refused to exchange my cash for quarters, so I had to make an overpriced purchase of breath mints just to get a couple of quarters as part of my change. So I finally went back to the payphone with quarters in hand, prepared to take action. I got to the payphone and searched the phone book that was attached to it for a locksmith. I spent one of my 2 quarters calling the first locksmith that had an ad claiming 24/7 365 service. The guy who answered the call said he was watching the Super Bowl and he would not help me. You see, they apparently had special rates for emergencies on holidays, but because the Super Bowl is not officially a holiday, they don't have special rates, so it wasn't worth their time to help me. I then used my second quarter calling another locksmith, who also rejected me. I'm now out of quarters, so I had to go back to the gift shop to buy some more breath mints to get 2 more quarters, only to get rejected 2 more times. I then go to an airport restaurant and ask for a manager and beg them to exchange $2 for 8 quarters. I then call my 2 best friends in my college town to see if they would be willing to come to pick me up. But they are both at Super Bowl parties and I only get their answering machines. Because they are in a city 1 hour away, they were long distance calls and my stashed quarters are once again depleted because their answering machines picked up and the calls were completed. Wow, so I was wrong, it wasn't to do with traffic, but it was to do with everyone's, away watching it. So maybe slightly right, I don't know, but yeah, I'm surprised, because it said no cell phones, that makes sense then, doesn't it? Wow, imagine, of course, you can't really think of what it was like, but Just imagine that, you just don't have a phone, because everyone's so used to them now, but yeah, you'd have to try and phone people's like home phones or landlines or whatever you call them, and if they're not on home, then you can't contact them. So yeah, not a very good situation to be in, so hopefully this person can find a way to find their keys, or I wonder if the key was on them the whole time, but they just didn't check one pocket. I then spent the next 2 hours begging every stranger I can find, asking if anyone is headed to my college town so I can hitch a ride home. Most people are in a hurry to get home to at least catch some of the end of the Super Bowl and don't want any unnecessary detour. Not to mention the fact that I looked like a mess. I'd been on my hands and knees in the snow earlier and I was still in wet clothes. So I'm sure that it will make the proposition especially unattractive to have my wet ass in their car. I finally find someone willing to drive me home because the game is almost over, and they have no chance of catching any of it, and I dried out for the most part. When I finally get home, I have no keys to get into my house, so I'm forced to break a window to break into the locksmiths, knowing they won't help me and that I have no way to contact them with no cell phone or phone book. Once I get inside, there was a message on my answering machine from my cousin asking me if I left my keys on his kitchen countertop in St. Louis. The following day, I got a friend to drive me back to the airport to get my car with my spare keys. TLDR, I left my keys at my cousin's house in another city I was travelling to for a wedding. I then flew back on the Super Bowl Sunday, so no locksmiths were willing to miss the Super Bowl. I had to hitchhike home and break into my house. Okay, so what a story that was then. So thoughts, guys, but before you continue with the video, comment down below what are your thoughts on the video, and I will the story we looked at today, and I'll probably reply to them, and maybe they'll be featured in another video. And yeah, but and also subscribe, like the video, comment, and click the bell icon if you haven't done yet. And so yeah, I mean, you got to feel sorry for this person. I think this is a pretty big frick up. But also, how could you just leave your keys on your counter? I mean, surely before you leave, you should always think, phone. Well, in this case, they didn't have a phone. Wallet and keys. Those are like the 3 necessary things you need when leaving somewhere. So, I mean, how could you forget something is that important? But so it's a pretty big frick up. And also, not only that, but they flew. They went on an aeroplane and flew to their location, so it's a very long way away from the wedding. I mean, yeah, you gotta feel sorry for them. And also, you had to ruin your suit and your clothes that you were carrying with you, and you got all your clothes that you were wearing damp. So obviously this person must have been not feeling the best when they were trying to get a hitchhike, trying to get a ride, asking all the people in the airport. They must have felt pretty depressed, just absolutely miserable, seeing that they were absolutely soaked. All of their clothes were ruined, and their suit too could have been an expensive suit, and it was ruined, seeing it was dry clean only, and they got it out in the snow. And yeah, and also the fact that it was just like multiple things all coming together that made it such a bad day for them. And also the Super Bowl Sunday, and without people having smartphones, everyone was watching the match. But I'm still surprised that I know, well, I don't live in the US, but obviously it's a big thing by the sound of the story. But you would have thought that at least, emergency locksmiths, there'd still be someone willing to help. I mean, imagine if, well, obviously it wouldn't be this extreme, but imagine if, like, the police or the hospitals, they were like, oh no, we're just watching the Super Bowl. Obviously they're going to be emergency people, so I mean, locksmiths are pretty important. I mean, if you're locked out of your house, I mean, is that not an important thing to get inside your house? So yeah, it is actually quite surprising that, none of the locksmiths were, willing to actually do anything. So yeah, I mean, it's not really their fault because they tried everything they could do. Of course, they left the keys behind in the first place, but I mean, what else could they have done? I mean, they couldn't phone anyone, no one was giving them a ride, all of the locksmiths were, not answering anything. Yeah, they must have felt pretty awful that day. I mean, not very good, is it? Anyway, that is the end of today's video. Please make sure you click like, subscribe, and the bell icon for more videos. If you click the bell icon, it means that YouTube will actually, give you a notification when I upload, because YouTube doesn't really like to do that, which is weird, You would have thought if you click subscribe, that should be enough for YouTube to recommend my videos, but apparently it's not. So, because we're averaging about 30 views a video at the moment, and a few months ago I was averaging about 300 or 400. So I mean, I'm still going to try though, because I know in the last video in the comments I said that I'm probably going to give up. But I mean, YouTube accepted my monetization request for like the 4th time. Finally, it's taken 165 videos to get here. I was so happy when I saw that notification. So that means I can make more videos basically. So I'm gonna try and make as many as I can. Of course, it's not going to be as many during lockdown in this country. I don't know when it is for other countries, but in the UK it was for about 3 or 4 months, was it? So I had there's a big spell I made loads of videos, so it's not going to be that frequent, but I'm still going to make a lot of videos. So anyway, thank you everyone for watching again, and bye. If you're bored, watch all of my other videos, there are plenty of them to watch. So yep, have a nice Christmas everyone, bye.